Okay. Um, oh, I probably never know how to start these kind of demonstrations here. But here I am. Hello, hello. For this type of demonstration, which cannot be done to man, at least not in the United States of America. And a demonstration would be just because, just say what is an E becomes quicker to explain. Would say when you get to an E, it would say that it seeks what an E is. And an E would be something of this nature, or even something of this nature, and this nature would be screwed in. And when it's screwed in, it needs this and this knot. It just has screws. And when the screws are there, it becomes impossible to take off. So if you're having protection, then you become this lacking and you cannot learn. And when you import somebody from into the country based on immigration, which means things are of this legality, and you could say based on things of this, would say, without letting the person know you're fit. For example, this says just disclosing that you're seeking communications in a massive. What if the girl says your plan is silly as a child? I don't entertain those things. Why? Because I don't want to speak to masses of people. I don't want my head to be used that way. And using that way says fitting a recorder, yes, no. It comes in a mystery. Basically speaking, man cannot know these type of things. And when she's secretly, even if it's dangerous, that's just what her life is based on, danger. When she has a grandfather of this nature and was killed, and unfortunately we are aware that there is a way of doing so this way, this way, this way, this way, and knows who the anticipated, the premeditated, no, the anticipated killer had to be, and did it. And you would say that is there an accusation to that nature? It becomes a no in that format, and it would even equal to had, to had, to had, and that demonstrates that they come they come to live short, short. Can you get to that point at which you can say, do they have a long or a lot? Basically, in short, you would have a lot and ignore the long. And that long goes back to the heavens and stays there. So, for example, with the child who he bore, it's a no, cannot see the child. So, can the child experience this based on had, had lot? She would have long and have to live her lot. And that is very disturbing to man. Now, because of that part, the child would say, I would prefer not living in the United States forever this way, and then had some certitudes in life based on descendants, yes, no, based on a nose of interest, and knows that when you're of this, you see people from Russia studying quietly in the United States. You can see somebody from Denmark, for example, studying in the United States, and then going back to their country to serve. So that's basically what is seeking the child, and not interested in having a life of mediocrity in the United States. Basically speaking, when you get to the point of being fed up of seeing these type of people, you don't want to be here anymore. But just say that, can you make a mistake? No, it's just a passage. Simplicity would say, when somebody becomes a queen, do you stay simple? Absolutely. But perhaps not this one. Why? Because of a no. Now, when you have a lot interesting and you seek that part, then it would say the passage says, I said no with this lot long. This passage says no, and just start here. So this child birth has to be here and transported this way, outside of the hands of man, or anything that we're calling talks, so that they know that these things that were created this way cannot be manipulated by you. And the demonstration shows that you're extremely, just say, connived. No, I would say very flat this way. And when you're flat this way, would lose this part of yourself eventually, meaning that how many billions of years did this earth exist? It means that you have come to the point where you're this way, and when you're this way, you become somebody that wants to be losing certain things that says, but it would say that you're seeking it your way, and your way says this you don't have, you cannot do. And when you realize that part, then when you seek to do this, if the flesh doesn't do so, then you do. And if you don't want to do so, well, the flesh has to. Now, the flesh would say, I am seeking, if she does, and then you would get it this way. And this way could be in, for example, Suriname, with the eyes. And then you check that off and move forward. Now, can you remove that? Apparently, no. Can you say, okay, can you lose that kind of memory? Perhaps in 1,000 years. And say, did I? Well, I suppose that's why I made it. Now, when it comes to this type of dynasty, in other words, when I just have 2 kids, for example, basically speaking, and then have a granddaughter, yes, I don't quite, because they have busy lives, and busy lives mean that there's a part of it that comes this way that says, where is the battery of her life? And the battery in her life would be this here. And that battery would say, why does man seek to know that part? Well, man says, I want to be able to modify. And the person would say, well, do that part. Why? Because your hands was placed over into the hands of, to a how. How? And the how would say, what are they asking for? So how? And you would say, well, just go straight to the edge and peep, and there's the floor. And then where is the battery of her life? I suppose it's on, what do you call this? This would be your knuckle, the knuckle. So the knuckle would say, finish the job, you may go. You are too much. Your nose becomes. And then you would say, wait a minute. I am kind of working on what is the Y definition of this. And they would probably say, knock, knock, knuckle, knuckle. Take that out. Knuckle. Oops. Okay. This is not a part of what something that we talk about. This oh, body, knees, and toes. So this would be a part of what is this? Okay, I guess that is part of. I can the this part would be the collagen part, and I guess this part will see. So I guess it would be that knuckle, knockle, knuckle, collagen. And the reason you would say so is because for example, the Q code depends on it for the pixels of, for example, the face of mom, or this thing of mom, for example. If somebody was trying to use that, you have to remember that these type of things do block these things and becomes criminals, or you could even say people of these type of people here, this type of situation here, and have to deal with people of high authorities of that place in New York. If that's a deficit, well, just add that to $1 trillion. Now, if you're seeking how, it's a no based on the heavens. They're not ready for that part. And that's why you guys are being snared, because you're seeking those payments. And I phantom not living here. I don't know how much more. And it would say that if she is, your brazenness is to the point that nobody can handle it. So if you're gone. Now this part, is it troubling to the child? In the United States it is. And then you would understand what is her nose. Calls are outside of this zone because she has things, and these are basically scraps of which she does. Now, when it comes to her granddaughter, for example, est-ce qu'on cherche à comprendre? Peut-être no, but if it's just a way of saying we don't want this aspect to know those things, you could get it, I suppose, this way, and that way would say this here. If that's thing and this way. Okay. Alrighty. And I suppose the rest can be a little bit history today. And I guess it's understand why. And I would say this is what I'm kind of working on for the next kind of demonstration or future, but I have to get it. And in all cases, I believe based on the shenanigans here, my time is up in here, and that could say that is mom seeking of leaving or staying. You have to say this type of living does not convient. Not even my grandmother being alone, and I cannot be with the family, and I cannot be with anybody else with this type of mental that thrives in me. And you would know that the kind of brains that I have, these things says that it has to be almost stifled. Her brains, it's very, for example, leaky. And leaky means it spills out and damages man because of the evil of the United States. So it would say that even this part here, so that settles the matter, and would say the destination seeks me, and how it would seek would be seeking it in a symbol formula. I would say, how do I get the formula? With demands this type of calcul, and the calcul could seek it where is the it seeks it in this matter here for this part of the child, and then it seeks it just here. So I would have to do this here, and I would say when I get it this way, I'm seeking it this way. So I would do something of this nature. I'm seeking it this nature here. This nature, and then I'm seeking it kind of this nature here, if that's kind of fitting. And when I'm seeking it that way, then I would need to know what am I seeking. What is the, I guess you could, what is the Q code here? And it would say the Q code here would be seeking where am I going to go next by calculating it this way. So this would take me to a kind of a, so this part here. This would take me to this one here, which is I need my loopings for that because of this would take me to a tan minus 1, and a tan minus 1 would seek a code. So tan minus 1, and that tan minus 1 will take me to this here. So it would take me to kind of a degree of this nature, and this would already put me right here. So by the time I get here, I am assuming that I will get a proctor this way, and the proctor this way would lead me here, and here it says that from here to here, I'm seeking a Huntsville departure here. So if I'm seeking a Huntsville departure, then by the time I get here, I'll be in Guyana. And that's all I can say for today, because it's a lot of calculating here. And if they want to be able to do this in Guyana, and they appreciate this little demonstration, not to expose more, so I would say HSV, and this would be GUY. And I guess if you're seeking it this way, then this way here, if you're seeking it this way, then that altitude would take me straight to enter. So enter would seek it here. And once I get to enter, then enter would leave me to this type of this minus. And this minus says I'm seeking this here, and this part here. If I'm getting it here, then it seeks this is seeking Ibiza, and that's what she actually did. But it wasn't Huntsville. If it's a Georgia, I guess it seeks Georgia here to get to this next destination. Let's see what's the next destination. I would seek it this way here, and this cause minus 1. This would be seeking this, and cause minus 1. So it's like a degree here, -1. So when it's a cos -1, it takes it to a point, and the point seeks it here. So that will take it this way. That will take it this way. And when it does it this way, it takes it straight back to Guyana. This back to Guyana. And I suppose Guyana seeks this route here, and they're not getting it. So we'll leave it at this here. And what I'm going to seek of you guys to see if we can work with this together, seek your Q code and let mom work it out. Yes, 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 yes. And a lot of times, if we're working out, some people don't like to be with their moms. People don't like to be with different aspects of family. And when you get hype or interesting, wears that person down and then puts that person in a community where there's just plooks, old old Scots, Negroes, Italians. I'm saying Italy because there was a dangerous incident in Italy, and man thinks not about the consequences of what they have allowed. So you have to say that. For example, New York has the quartiers of Canarsie, Park Slopes, Crown Heights. We have visited those places, Brooklyn, some in the Bronx, etc., etc. So it would say yes, 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 me, 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 and then check this off, and then let you guys know that these type of things cannot be done. I have to be able to be in that ultimate destination of Greece. That's where this this part of me here, this chest, correct? This is Greece is her chest, and when it's coming from the aspect of the earth, and the earth, this would be the earth. And you would have the soleil, the sun would be here, and you would have earth, and then the moon would be here, and the sun seeks earth. So the sun would be here now in Huntsville. The sun would be here, and the moon would be right here. And the moon, when it comes to this Saturn position, where Saturn should be, then Saturn disintegrates slowly and is seeking to crowd the Earth. And once it is, that puts us in a very delicate position to our family, knowing that if it crushes mom, then if you're seeking, how did that happen? I guess it happened for this part of me. It had to be yes. This part of me was a yes, and this part of me was a yes. And I don't think, even you don't understand this, you probably get it this way, not. So it says this part of me, this part of me, which is this part here, and this part of me. So this part of me becomes a Q code this way. this way. And oftentimes you see things of this matter in the ciel, and that's what it would look like. Now, once we have this type of angle and man seeks it, so that it stays private, and if I've lost my those type of it's canvases, that's what this level of who we are in France would be this high, but we know the issues of France this high, and in America, because when it's in America, it depends on this here, and this here would be the Q code, and they do depend on that, and they use that even with the Proctor demonstration that I did. And I don't know, but if my NA knows, I'll probably get it one day wherever I stored that part. And this type of no has been maintained. Why? Because the Q code of this type of situation cannot change. And when it cannot change, unfortunately, the Proctor cannot. Now, the aspect of this here for this part, there's a little tree that is growing for that other party, and that other party, that sun is positioned here, and when it does, anything in between cannot seek us, and this part becomes something that's far away, and so it would tell that she could be in Huntsville, Mom, yes, and this OC, so we're getting a similar temperature, and we're getting this type of moon problems. In other words, for example, this type of situation would say it seeks it, and it's right here on the Proctor, right here. And why? Because the Proctor is positioned to demonstrate Earth. For example, she could do that by this circle, and when she does that, she soothes herself and allow this part to be hidden by the hands of that mother. And when we get to this point of being un peu peur, we seek this for her, and there it is. And something more powerful than this could be something of this nature. Why? Because it demonstrates the A as the F. You have a LKJ, but the semicolon stays the same. But when we get this H, it takes us to that Mac. This would be the Mac, and then it deals with things this way or this way, so that the FN shows on that kind of carte verte that we used to see, this FN, and then it has a stop, but the stop works only with the M that smarts out the FN and tells the FN, I know you did a lot of research, but your research led to a blank screen and has this type of person seeking the child. And when it seeks it as something that like a P-touch. So the P-touch says that it had to explode and seeks destruction of the earth, because we cannot have brothers seeking incest behavior, especially when it's a half to a whole. But this would be a half based on only having the same type of biological mom. And when that's done, there's a shift, there's a symbol, there's caps, there's space, there's accents, and a shift, so that this type of ender disturbs not this of the P-touch anymore, and deals just with prints. And there's a printer right there in New Amsterdam, of which was signaled to the heavens. So if you didn't see it, you were just seeking to feed off the child. and feeding off the child clears you as what you have done, but doesn't provide a stop. So a stop would say blank screen, and then you create this type of scenario, and when she's there insist. So you have to say, where is the Guyana's type of CIA? Where is Guyana's type of government? Where is Guyana's prime minister, not president? And meeting with him becomes impossible. This I what I do is hide my feet. Why? Because the Q code is in Greece, and those things says the crowning of that mother has to be done in Greece this way already. Why? Because I was there. Now, do I have a an image of it? I do. So I'll send it this way and not this way. So if he was, it becomes incest and have to be investigated by immigration. And that brother of that mom, if he did it this way, has a problem there with he has to go. They have to go. They cannot be part of the child. Is she happy? No, she's just disgusted. Every day she wakes up and there's somebody that's trying to have personal intercourse with her, including a brother. And now the accusation says this is a personal tape with my kids, and get off of this aspect of myself. Now, this would say the looping says it has to be on a mode that way. So it would have to say it does not go there. So it would just be personal. Now, this accusation says that this part says that it had to be used this way because of this part here, and sort of because of a tape that she touched yesterday. And ultimately, it leads to what this is, a tape of quack, 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 quack. No, chick, chick. How do you say that in French? Moo, ma, me. I'm not sure. Just say this part. We'll take care of that part. And if you're seeking to know if this, okay, I have two images, perhaps with my this part here. I know that I haven't been there yet, but I'm going to be hopping in there. Can I just say my Q code is this way, and it has been damaged because of this kind of a personality. Yes, no, this kind of her life. It's her life that did it based on that book that I wrote. And the book says that even this type of situation could be quite dangerous for the child. So the book decided to say, I am here, the book, but the book is a no, okay? It's just this aspect of herself, and that's what she has to be able to share with her her this here, her this somebody seeking that. Now, when you're seeking this could easily become a battle between police officers who lines up next to the house here. And this is a hotel. Hotel? Hotels. I'll mention that in there, and they're not. Just say it comes this way. Okay, and they when they do that here, now those are not things to be concerned about based on America knows and decided to play evil with the child. And if they're looking for an international sensation, I don't think the Q code has international sensation. You have to deal with your own problems, and if you don't want to deal with it, well, the girl reacts this way. Yes, no, her personality, yes, no, it's a no. And once they get it, and you cannot cultivate, well, you're a weak society and pretends to living a hype life. Now, if you're seeking to put things, the way this functions, it's very weird, this type of tugging. So it becomes kind of a a snare to anybody who says they agree, and just say that it's agree this way and nothing else. So once we know it, then do not seek these moments of disturbances. So I kind of get into of a, just say, a peel moment. These are peel moments for me, and these moments allow me to be able to soothe this part of the earth with this type of posture, and allows this part to relax, and allow this part here to be more of a cosmo, negative degree one, which means this from here to here becomes very me. This is a me, and when it's a me, do not derange this, the right side of myself. And this part of me would say, do not derange the left side of myself. And this type of situation kind of fluctuates this way around, so that this type of moon doesn't come close to this type of sun, or this type of sun either. Now, when I'm in Greece, for example, it has a perfection here that allows this little tree to keep growing this way, and I would be seeking that. Not, I have to be able to fulfill my devoir. This from possibly this point here at least. And if it's this point here that's interesting now, well, I would have to do a new schema this way, and it probably gets a this way of just this cosm, because when it's -1, it's demanding freedom from this aspect, complete freedom from here. If it's a -1, I probably cannot get freedom from it because it's trying to access Earth. So it's very private. Zen, I suppose. Meditation is what she's needing right now. No, you would say it's something that is this type of situation. Relaxed, just Saturn behaving this way. And when it behaves this way, it gets to this feeling, and then tells that this part stimulates and this part so this part is not to be deranged. This part is not. I just have to let it be. And if I get to let it let it be. Well, this is a lot of, I guess these type of screws, it's screwed in, meaning that this type of things here things of these types here. Okay, so these are the things. So we get the B, which tells of, which takes place here. Is where this is what is taking place here, and you would say that it's this here. So this would say that it does kind of, when it leaks, it means it gets into what is called it dwells. It just dwells here, instead of talking about cells and protons and neurons. This is basically a little tree topic, and this is basically what this part of the child is. So it would seek this life, this life at this life. It will achieve at this life. This not. And then I would put this there, and Mama actually chooses this life, this not. So it chooses this not, it chooses this not, it chooses just this here. So it would say that it's actually this she works on for this here, and it would say correct, but it would say when it came to this type of realization that these people are Scots this way, then she seeks these type of things here, gets to the answers of what is killing her, and then uses the kind of this type of situation here. Let's see if I can get this part in there. Okay, now I suppose if the mom, I guess this would be, I don't know, that it seeks this part here in that kind of dream. When it's doing this type of buffering, it's seeking what is this part? Do we have what you call something of an ocean? Does it involve nursing this part here? Who is it? Or are we constantly having, because of the United States? Because of the United States? Are we constantly having 5 sozis, of which the source of it can be determined by Greece? So Greece can determine those things. Now, those things are not allowed. In other words, this it's not allowed to who sees and it sees. You have eyesight to humans are made with eyes, and you get to see. And once you have a grandmother of that nature, there's no the idea of going away or shopping is not acceptable. And it's not acceptable. It's a mission, not is a way of entering. So when it enters, for example, the stop says, the hearing part says that it shakes the world. Why? Because you're constantly denying these things of these type of things, so it has to shake you. Okay. Uh, Kathysfeed at gmail.com. Please enter your information. Well, we don't know why. Example, this part here is last name. See. Right, because it's 222, Kathysfeed at gmail.com. Okay, I guess it doesn't work today. So and okay, this is very important. Uh, call it. This is a very important B instead of tongue. Tongue. The tongue would be this part of her feet, and this would be the B part here. Most wacko BC, and this part would be that Siamese that we're talking about. This was taken in front of the Jagneo, Guyana's International Airport. I don't know, in 2022. And this would be some of her stuff here. Now, this is a picture of Greece, but I'm not sure if I took that picture, but I've been here. So, as you see, there are pixels on, this is mom's lips. There are pixels. There's a lot of pixels on here. But if you're seeing this, then it was danger to come close to mom. So it was important for mom to have her glasses on. And this type of veil here is what demonstrates this of mom, this proctor, and demonstrates this part of her sortu, and the elimination of this part of her, which has to seek that side of him, which is his mom. Now, it would say that if this is a scheme type, then the scheme would have to pay her this amount of money, and nobody's allowed to do those things. So you would leave this alone. These things, what do you call, this is involved in there. And what is this? It's basically lead. Lead. The red light would be a demonstration of lead. And that's kind of a red this way. This part here, this would be demonstrating this here would demonstrate this lead here. So these types of schema are her kind of notes, things she's been working on. Now, sometimes this could be a place where you could even consider the grandmother's house, we know what that looks like. Sometimes this could be a place where she was conceived, this type of daughter, and we know where this is, and would, show like if I'm in that enter mode, like OneDrive, it would give me an image of a position here. And then if you have these, I guess this is what man looks for in terms of what have they been cheating with Greece. So now when it becomes the pixels here would leave you to this here. So you would catch, this is what was a major thief that has to go straight to things. If they are using this part, then this part demonstrates things right here, and this part OC, and then you have this type of stripe here, and it's in this type of cloud. Now when you get to this type of plant, it shows this part here, which is a part of these type of shadows, which are very scary for the child. Now when it looks very Greeky, I'm sure it looks very, it's Italy. This part is very Italy because Greeks has striking marks. So it would tell you that this part seeks Italy based on a kind of a parkour, and not this here. So if that aspect demonstrates it this format, then it was looking for this here, the kind of cause. If it's a cause -1, then it was looking for it in E, in this part of the world, and could have parkour to go one day, and not as a things. I guess the stem will demonstrate this part here, this type of things, of which circles her now to get this kind of like a way of doing this and this part here. Now when it's learned about this picture, it probably tells you what it is. Now when it does it that way, then it has this part seeks what this part means, and a lot of times it goes to these type of questionnaires that I probably didn't have the internet right now. Now this is fully stemmed, mom, and this would be her glasses, and this part speaks to her this way, and this way, you'll see, and even this way. So this type of wig that she's wearing, which is basically her hair, because she cultivates not these things, tells that her nose is being fed in a way that tells you this would be a nose that says leave America immediately, and was caught this way by the chicken pox that she had in France right before her birth and her kids. Like you could see the mark of the chicken pox. And then if you seek this one here, this is when she was pretty, I don't know, before 10. These would tell that it transformed this type of picture into a cloud that says she has to leave America. She cannot stay here. And this part OC, now this part demonstrate that this type of Saturn peeps at her. And then she has a pixel of lips telling about this aspect, and this would say it clouds this eye a lot. And then you have another pixel here, a pixel complete of this part of her, and then it goes to to this type of pixel, when it comes to this type of nozzle, it seeks still what is it trying to tell the child, and then you have this type of kind of demonstration seeking out there. Okay, now I don't think I need the internet. Why? Because okay, I think that's it for now. I guess I'll be back and check some stuff out in a minute. All right.